Namaste everyone, be here. Welcome back to the African Storyteller, and today is Yoga Day. All you need is your mat and the right mindset. Let us do this. Hi, welcome back to the African Storyteller, and today my story is anchored in the philosophy of yoga. I am an up and coming yoga instructor, and I have been exposed to yoga since I first arrived in India in 2013. I have been on and off, in and out of India, but I have always maintained a certain curiosity and interest in yoga, and over time I have studied it. I have tried to understand it, so the philosophy of it, the meditative part, the breathing, and the traditional asanas, which are the postures. I have my certification in traditional yoga hatha. I did my 200 hours of international teacher instruction, so I'm internationally certified to instruct yoga anywhere in the world, which is quite an accolade, come to think about it. Anyway, is that me showing off? Is it very un-yoga-like? The human condition kicks in most of the time. So yeah, so I got internationally certified, and now I do practice yoga for my own well-being and also for a little cheddar moolah money. So I'm going to be showing you a few things that you can do for yourself in yoga. But I want you to understand three things. Number one, listen to your body. If it hurts, stop. And number two, the breath is God. Make sure you're breathing at all times. Literally, it is what is going to sustain you and give you life and help you realize all the goals that you set for yourself. And three, assume proper form. But today I'm going to show you a few things that you can do, and I'm going to show you three stages of it. I'm going to show you the Surya namaskar. Surya namaskar translates into English as sun salutation. It is the basic structure of yoga. Anything else you ever see in yoga, any bending, folding, doing amazing, standing on your head, levitating, whatever it is, anything you see being done by yogis around the world is anchored on this one thing called the Surya Namaskar. Apologies for the rough editing and for my 3-year-old assistant in the background, but this is the literal yoga starter pack. To do yoga, you need a mat that isn't too thick but has a really good grip, because when you sweat, you will need for it to maintain that grip. You need a bolster, which is something you can sit on to help widen your hips, especially when you're doing Chukasana, which is the easy pose. You may need a brick or a rope to help you with the extensions and for those further reaches. And then you're good to start your yoga. The starting point, the mountain pose, has two ways to do it. The traditional one, where you raise your hands straight, fold at your waist, stiff-legged, and reach for the mat. This is what is traditionally done, but if you have poor knees, you can bend your knees. And then the second version is much easier, much kinder to your bones, where you just gracefully lift your hands up and assume that little breath there with an inhale and exhale, all the way diving forward, hinging at your waist and loosening your hips just to be kinder to your knees. Surya Namaskar stands with you in a mountain pose. Roll your shoulders back, chest out, and put your hands in a Namaskar. Inhale and raise them above your head, bending as far back as you can. And then exhale and all the way to the ground. Be kind to your knees if you have weaker knees, and step your right leg forward, right knee down, flatten your right toes, lift your chest out and take a breath here. And then lift that right knee up and step your left leg back. Make sure you're feeling it out. Come on your tippy toes and put your knees gently down on the ground. Flatten your toes, dip your chest forward, and rise into a cobra, halfway or fully there. Take a deep breath here and exhale all the way back into a downward facing dog, preferably with your heels touching the mat. Roll your shoulder blades in. Take a breath and then come on your tippy toes, knees down. Step your right leg forward, left knee off. Step your left leg forward and inhale up. Exhale all the way down to combine. Left leg back, flat toes. Lift your chest up. Exhale. And then rise yourself up and step your right leg back. Tippy toes, knees down. Exhale with that chest in, dipping and rising into a half cobra or a full cobra. Take a breath here. Exhale, with into a downward facing dog. Remember to breathe. Tippy toes, knees down. Left leg forward, right knee up, right leg forward. Inhale all the way up and exhale back into namaskar. This is a cardio version, so all the way up your head, exhale all the way to the mat, right leg back, right knee down, flatten your toes and lift left leg back, tippy toes down, deep, exhale into a cobra, inhale back into that and knees down, step forward, exhale and inhale all the way up, exhale all the way down. Do it to the left side. Remember to breathe, remember to use your muscles. Speed is not the only goal. You're also looking to use your muscles and to breathe and to enjoy and just make sure your body is performing to the best of its abilities, so you can speed it up for a cardio version of it. And whenever you get into any pose under such a speed, make sure you're doing it intentionally and you're still thinking of all the muscles that you're using and all the breath. Left leg forward, right leg forward, inhale up and exhale into namaskar. Now let's try and do an advanced version. Inhale all the way up, bend as far back as you can and exhale all the way to the mat. Make sure that you're coming up into the half forward fold. Exhale all the way back down. Put your hands fully on the mat, palm planted on that mat, and using both your legs, jump back. Come into a higher plank and lower yourself gently to the mat. Flatten your toes and rise into a cobra, lifting your knees off the mat. And remember to breathe. Turn your toes in and go into your downward facing dog and then hop forward and inhale all the way up. Exhale. This is a version of a Surya namaskar where she's doing it in a very classical way. Right leg is back, she's lifting up. Left leg goes back. She adjusts herself, make sure that she's fine, she's in good condition, and then lowers. Make sure she comes on her tippy toes and lowers her knees gently down. She dips her chest forward and then rises into a cobra. And then she bends down and takes a little Shashankasan, child's pose, to just break, and then comes on her tippy toes and comes on her feet, and as soon as the downward facing dog comes tippy toes, knees down, and then she steps her right leg forward, left knee up, and she steps forward. She's much more flexible and traditionally raises with an inhale and comes into namaskar. So let's try and repeat that here. Hands up with an inhale. Exhale all the way to the mat. Half forward fold and hands down and jump back. Come on your tippy toes and have a very high plank. You can make it flatter. The lower you bring it, the harder it is. And then you want to lower yourself very gentle with your arms very close to your ribs, and you want to rise into a cobra. You can keep your knees down or you can keep your knees off the mat. Makes it much harder on your glutes and on your quads, on your arms. Turn your toes in and come into a downward facing dog. And then you make sure your knees are loose when you jump forward. It makes it much easier on them. Always remember to be kind to your knees. Exhale all the way back down. Half forward fold. Make sure your back is nice and flat there. And jump back, come on your tippy toes and plank, high plank. Remember to tighten your armpit so that this is much more advanced and your leg goes up, giving more pressure to your hands. This is gonna make your shoulders sing. And this right here, the knees off the mat, is really good for your quads, really good for your glutes. Jump forward, half forward fold again, exhale down, inhale all the way up, exhale into namaskar. Now that you've done all that, take a little break and inhale up, reach back and exhale all the way down. That should feel very good. Step your right leg back, knee down, left leg back and knee down. Widen your knees so that they touch the edges of your mat, and then sink in into a child's pose. Some people call this Balasana. I don't know why. I was taught to call it Shashankasan. And a good Shashankasan you can take your elbows off the mat. You don't have to touch your chin or your forehead down, but you can also do that. It's meant to rest your lower back. It's meant to stretch you. It's really a very relaxing pose. It rejuvenates you. It helps you reflect on your workout. And once you've had enough of that, walk with your hands back into a sitting position, and you can progress to other cool down exercises. In this case, you're going to sit down and you're going to tuck your left leg under your left buttock, and then you're going to loop both your hands under your right foot and lift. And there's so many versions of this. The whole point is to try and stretch your back, your shoulders, and you're stretching your thighs, your calf muscles. It looks complex, but really isn't. It's a very simple thing. You'll surprise yourself. Try and do it. It's gonna really give your upper back that intense stretch you need there. The other leg up. See, you can put your forehead to your knee, but in yoga you try to make sure you protect your spine. So do what feels good, but at the same time observe that you're not hurting that. And at this point you can just rest. I'm sitting and pushing my elbows against my knees to just, open up my hips a little more. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that introduction has welcomed you to the world of yoga. We will do more in future, but for now, please subscribe and do not forget to press that little notification bell. And until next time, namaste.